Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome back, guys. Yesterday we didn't have too much volatility. Today we are getting, 2 days worth of volatility in one, probably even even more than that. I look across my watch list. I see green everywhere, green in equities, green especially on the coins. We've been noticing the relative strength in crypto here over the last few days, and it is now manifesting into a much larger move higher. But we're going to talk about all of that and then some later today on this show, guys. But first, I'm Tommy. You also know me as Snorlax. I'm joined by Max, Prometheus, and of course, it's Tuesday. Big Louis Tuesday. Rest assured, Louis, I'm always going to give you that special introduction on Tuesdays. Yeah, I hope everybody is having a great day. And as we always say, before we can get started, guys, it's always easier to hit the like button on green days. If we can't hit the like button on a day where ETH is up 9%, where Bitcoin's up almost 5%, I look across my altcoin watch list, I see green everywhere. It's the easiest day possible to hit the like button. Let's do it today. Let's run up the like button. It's been a while since we really kind of put too much emphasis on that, but don't make me look at soybeans on a day where all of the coins are green, guys. If you could do your part and help us continue to grow our channel so we can continue to bring you guys content like this every single day, we'd be very appreciative. But yeah, it seems as though crypto does not need Jerome Powell to cut interest rates, as it's already moving higher here. Like I said at the start of the show, we've been kind of noting the relative strength in crypto that usually either signifies like a meme. It's kind of a meme, right? Typically, when we see relative strength from crypto, we are lagging equities lower, or we have bottomed before equities, before we see these uptrends once again. Right now, it appears like it might be the latter, right? Bitcoin back above 91K, really just kind of unstoppable since the weekly open. We put on 7,000 or 8,000 points on Bitcoin in just 48 hours or less. And we're finally starting to see things like ETH, things like BNB, and of course, some of these other altcoins catching up as well. But, kind of in the face of this Bitcoin strength, I think you've had a handful of altcoins that have been very strong as well, right? Something like a Hyperliquid. God, I'm going to have to say it again. Something like a Fartcoin, which has been telegraphing, crypto's moves for risk on behavior on a lower time frame sooner than every other major, right? So, yeah, crypto is materially moving higher, guys. Let's discuss it. Let's discuss equity markets. I'm looking at Qs up 2.5% today. The S&P up over 2%. Getting some nice reversion finally in equities. And yeah, crypto could just be front running a local bottom on equities here. Whether it materializes into a bigger move, obviously, is something we can also discuss today. But for now, we're seeing a lot of strength from crypto, which should not be completely surprising, right? If you've been paying attention here for the last 1 to 2 weeks.
Boys, we're pumping.
Don't you know, pump it up. Got to pump it up. Too soon?
No.
It feels good, man.
On time. Louis, would you be able to get your screen up? Because you hit a banger ETH long yesterday.
Thank you, sir.
I think you're still holding it, but
yeah. Sorry, I just had to update the Discord real quick.
No, it's inexcusable, but excusable. Hang on, guys. We're getting Louis meat stick on the screen here. Oh man! And here's the thing: is Louis had the nuts to step in front of that yesterday, that bullshit, and longed it real nice.
Yeah. This was a little scammy last night.
That was really scammy.
They liquidated like 30 million in like 10 seconds. I was like, whoa. And then once I saw it get bought back up into this range and like it closed like this, I was like, I think this was the juice for the squeeze. They just needed that liquidity, a little gas on the fire.
Yeah, it was a great buy. It was a great buy.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're breaking our local range here, so we kind of just got to stick to landing. I know this looks nice. I mean, lower time frame, it looks big, but realistically, like zoomed out, let's go to the 6, right? Like we're just starting to move here, right? We're just starting to move. We got a lot of levels, a lot of liquidity above us, a lot of highs, untapped highs waiting to be taken. But I mean, if we could stick the landing above 1680 here, right? Flip this into support, our nice like month-long base we've been putting down here that's been boring the crap out of everybody. You flip 1680, I think we really start to squeeze up into a lot of these levels, anywhere between 1800, 2K minimum, right? And then we see, right? And then we see, but it's looking good, right? I mean, it's just following off the back of Bitcoin, right? ETH is just breaking out of its consolidation range over the last week and a half. But Bitcoin broke the range 2 days ago, right? Bitcoin broke out of its range 2 days ago.
Bitcoin looks really good here, honestly.
So it looks great.
It looks really good.
But I mean, yeah. So Bitcoin broke out of its range on Sunday, right? And ETH is just now breaking out. So there's a catch-up trade for ETH and altcoins out there, right? Like Bitcoin's running, Bitcoin's breaking its consolidation. There's a big catch-up trade happening as we speak, and we're seeing it in the numbers, right? We're seeing it in the numbers. Like just look at some altcoins here. XRP up 4.5%, base Farcoin up 25%, Pepe up 10%, Andy up 27%, Landwolf up 20%. Trump even up 8% on the day. Like this is the kind of move you get when you're extremely oversold, and things start to swing the other way. It happens fast. Altcoins can literally erase months worth of downwards price action in just a couple weeks. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, it certainly feels like a squeeze has been brewing. What it ends up becoming, like time will tell. I think it really ultimately comes down to Bitcoin. Does Bitcoin bounce into some shoulder and roll back over? Or does Bitcoin, ultimately get acceptance back into that previous range and then hopefully go on to make new highs? I think if Bitcoin goes on to make new highs within the next, 30 to 60 days or something, then it's like these altcoins are going to put in such unbelievable moves because they're down so bad. And like a lot of these coins will put in 300% moves and still be down 45, 50% from their all-time highs. It doesn't really matter, right? It's just like there's good opportunities to be had playing these bounces, whether it's short-lived or whether it's the start of like a new high time frame leg up for Bitcoin, right? I'm leaning more towards that this is the start of a new high time frame leg up for Bitcoin. That I guess shouldn't really surprise many people. I've kind of been saying that like I actually think we're a lot earlier in this cycle than people are saying. Like the cycle to me begins when QT stops, not before QT stops. Like I actually think we're much kind of earlier cycle. I think we're kind of redefining what cycle is slowly but surely, but nonetheless, I am of the opinion that this is the very beginning of a major recovery on altcoins. The weak ones will die and never come back. The strong ones will show exactly who they are within the next like 3 or 4 weeks. You'll know exactly which ones are going to make it to the end of the cycle and go on to probably make new highs. Most won't. Some, the few, the strong will. Bitcoin does have some supply overhead, right? Like it's not a freebie up to 100K or anything like that. Far from it.
Yeah.
But I think if we can chew through this level, and actually I want to ask Tommy about something. I have a vague memory, Tommy, of you saying something about 92K. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it's something like, I don't think 92 is like the most ideal short for some reason, like, can you Do you remember what you said? You something about 92K. I feel like I remember that number.
Yeah. So when my view on 92K was that I wasn't really looking to short it probably either way, just because for one, I think that Bitcoin is pretty clearly experiencing some flows that are not just related to NASDAQ correlations, right? There's clearly a flight of capital into non-sovereign assets Bitcoin is benefiting from. But on the topic of 92K, I was kind of viewing it in one of two ways, right? I would have preferred to see a slow grind into this level ultimately, rather than a super aggressive squeeze right from Monday. Hold on, sorry, I just got a call from somebody. I still don't view 92K as like a super ideal place to look for a short on Bitcoin. Sure, it could be the reversal point because we did kind of get the latter scenario where we just aggressively squeezed right into this level. But yeah, you won't catch me shorting Bitcoin at 92K or really kind of any level. I'd rather pick on some weak altcoins and use kind of Bitcoin's flow as right, like a guide. If we're seeing distribution at these levels, then obviously you're looking to bonk weak altcoins. But there's been a really strong spot been on Bitcoin that, like I said, I think a lot of what we're seeing is a result of idiosyncratic flows into Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. Who do you think the spot bidder is? Is it just Sailor again, or do you think it's more like nation states or people losing confidence in the dollar, or like what do you think it like? Who's the marginal bidder for Bitcoin? Not
Probably
per
a mix
spot.
of all three, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that there are a lot of different reasons to bid Bitcoin, not just our resident crackhead Michael Saylor.
There's been a very slow but sure increase in the amount of companies that are accumulating Bitcoin. I think like the number of publicly traded companies, or I don't know if it's publicly traded or just companies in general, with Bitcoins on the balance sheet is like up to like almost 80 companies right now. Like even yesterday, like it's not just MicroStrategy buying up the dip here. I think we saw like MetaPlanet yesterday bought like a crazy amount of Bitcoin. You got companies like GameStop, kind of pulling the MicroStrategy playbook, borrowing against stock to buy Bitcoin and put it on the balance sheet. I think, it's as, I guess Q1, earnings come out or whatever, we're going to start to see more and more companies come out and be like, yeah, we were buying Bitcoin in Q1, because it works, right? It's worked for MicroStrategy, especially for companies that don't do great. Like a company like GameStop, like, okay, but they could flip it and turn around their company, at least for the stock, right? Just by buying and holding Bitcoin, right? Look what MicroStrategy has done over the last 4 or 5 years, right? So I think more and more companies are going to continue to adopt this. Countries as well, right? US, we've established that we are going to, establish a Bitcoin reserve as well as a crypto reserve. Other countries are already doing it, and like El Salvador, and now it's just game theory time, right? It's like if the US is going to be doing it, other countries will follow and not get left behind. So everyone's going to be buying Bitcoin pretty much. That at least can, has an impact on price for sure. So I think we're going to continue to see that trend grow at least, into the end of the year at a minimum.
Well, I sure hope so. A lot of Bitcoin maxis have been suggesting that this has been coming for a long time. At least like the nation state side of things, right? Like how companies approach it, I guess kind of up in the air whether it's a good thing to have like these large centralized entities that are just like hoarding Bitcoin. But I don't know. I mean, we're seeing this shift in overall, we're seeing this major shift in the narrative where Bitcoin initially was like, it was kind of like a revolt against central banking and, government overreach. And now it's like we've shifted to cheering them on as they're buying it and adopting it. So I think it was inevitable that was going to happen. Like if you wanted Bitcoin to be mainstream, it was going to have to become kind of merged with legacy without question. Because it's like you're not going to reach these crazy heights without, without the proper regulation, without the appropriate rails, without, the U.S.'s support, other countries adopting. Like it was going to happen. It was always going to happen. But it's cool to see Bitcoin like. I'm not going to say, okay, I'm going to say it, decoupling a little bit from equities, just a little bit, right? Where, hey, it's possible that Bitcoin is no longer going to trade like a derivative of the Russell 2000, and it's going to start trading like some sort of safe haven asset, which it arguably always should have, right? I think obviously it's still really dependent on like liquidity conditions globally, but I think if this past week has potentially shined a light on anything, it's that, hey, we might actually have something that's not just like a 3 times levered IWM ticker. It doesn't need like froth in equities to pump. It can pump because, oh, we don't want to hold the dollar, or, oh, we don't want to deal with like the volatility and uncertainty in Forex markets. There's a standardized currency that you can monitor the entire protocol like right there. It's not subjective. There's no policy shifts around it. It's just like, here's Bitcoin. There's infinite pairs against it. And there's so much certainty and clarity with something like Bitcoin, or even just crypto for that matter, right? Like it's right here. You don't need some guy to like decide that he's going to print more Bitcoin to make it work, or, make lending more like it's just simple, right? So I feel like a lot of people maybe are kind of waking up to that finally, or I like it. I don't want to say it's decoupling yet, but like maybe, right? Just maybe.
I think as well, one of the lesser discussed, long-term bullish thematics for Bitcoin is ultimately stablecoin adoption. Not in the sense of like, yeah, hey, I'm going to go buy Curve, but in the sense of, well, Tether is buying U.S. treasuries. They're one of the 5 or 6 largest holders of U.S. debt in the entire world. We're now kind of like tied at the hip to the U.S. government in a way, which, I think, we talk about Tether. What is Tether bullish on? USDT and Bitcoin. Therefore, if the government has incentive for Tether to continue to exist, I think that's, kind of an under-discussed bull case for something like Bitcoin.
Tether buying so much US debt was honestly brilliant. Like that was such a smart move, man.
Paolo is a Giga Chad trader.
He's a Giga Chad, man. Giga Chad. All right, Louis. What's that teal box you have on the screen, man? What is that? Is that trading view line make bounce? What is that?
I can't say it. I haven't made enough money back yet. Say mega demand.
Okay. All right. Shut the show down. That was just blatant. That was just disrespectful, man. You knew the rule and you just ignored it. I can't. Okay. We're gonna talk after the show. That's unacceptable, bro.
All
you
right.
can't just rip mega demand like there's not a patent pending on it. You know what I mean?
You set me up for failure there.
That's gonna cost you.
That's all right. I'll talk to HR. Total crypto market cap. I mean, I showed this chart probably, I think, a couple weeks ago or a month ago. And I mean, if you just block out all the noise of the last couple months and you just looked at this chart, it just looks like a solid high time frame uptrend trying to enter price discovery, right? Like we're just doing what we've been doing this entire cycle so far off the lows. And I've watched, because I've pretty much, all of 2021 bull run, all through the bear market and then back up again. But I've watched so many people capitulate, flip flop on each one of these, right? When really, I mean, sure, if you caught an intraday, like if you caught the intermediary move in the last months, you did well. Hats off to you because it wasn't easy to do, and not many people did it. But this is just a high time frame uptrend for the crypto asset class as a whole, trying to flip the 2021 all-time high into support. We broke above it. We've been grinding back into it. And today, you know, nothing too substantial just yet, but I wouldn't be short this chart. Put it that way. I would not be short this chart. We're coming into major support here with the 2021 all-time high, as well as our previous consolidation here. Everyone remembers this point in time. And it looks like we're ready to head into price discovery, and crypto asset class as a whole starts to expand and appreciate to new highs, right? As a new emerging asset class should, right? I don't think there's any reason to think that Bitcoin and crypto as an asset class will not continue to grow and expand, especially what we're seeing go on, right? You got legacy markets literally finally getting their foot in the door and getting exposed to this asset class. We have hundreds of potential crypto ETFs on the waiting list ready to get fired in. I don't know.
What do you guys think the next ETF is going to be?
I think it's gonna be a meme related one, honestly.
I saw a lot of baskets of like
approval.
Yeah, I saw
There's
a lot
of there's like Algorand has one. I mean, there's a ton. There's a whole list.
XRP probably,
Has Sol
they
been
still have that
approved yet?
case going. So
I don't think
Has
so.
the Sol ETF been approved yet?
nothing's
so.
really been approved just
No,
yet.
okay, I was wrong. It's not gonna be the next one. It'll probably be like Sol and XRP. Then we're gonna start seeing some like Frankenstein ETFs where it's like ADA, DOT, Sol, all mixed together.
Litecoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these like Dino coins.
It's gonna be a Frankenstein. It's gonna be a horror scene, man. And then we're gonna see some like Doge ETF, and then we're gonna see like Cathie Wood. I'm telling you, the top signal of top signals this cycle will be when Cathie Wood launches like the ultimate Frankenstein with like true shit coins in it, man. Like all the new L1s, all the new meme coins, and it's gonna go crazy for like 3 weeks and then never make a new all-time high again. And that's gonna be the top.
Wood is launching crypto ETFs that aren't Bitcoin, ETH, or Solana, it's probably time to like exit.
100%.
Not even probably, without question. I stake my name on it. But we need to talk about this, guys. So this is a BB terminal chart here. We're on the spaghetti chart function, just to keep it real simple. Do you guys know what that, can you see what that top line is there? Can you look at the y-axis and you can see all the tickers? We got XRP down below, Sol, ETH, Bitcoin, Pepe, and Fartcoin. Fartcoin is now the fourth largest meme in existence. Number one is going to be Doge, then Shib, then Pepe. I'm going to exclude Trump because I don't really think it's a meme. I'd say that's more of like a, I don't know, celebrity coin or whatever. I guess you could call it a meme. But then Fartcoin. Every single step of the way, Fartcoin is like the beta of betas, man. And it's $1 billion market cap. Do we think that this is going to be that, like, do we think that the two front runners for like memes this cycle are kind of showing us that it's going to be Pepe and Fartcoin? Is that the Doge and Shib of this cycle? And then, of course, you have your beta plays to all of them. But, I mean, is it going to be Pepe and Fartcoin? Or is Fartcoin just kind of like a little fad here? Because I look at this chart. Now, granted, this is a very local chart here. This goes back to like, you know, a few days ago. We could zoom out even further. We could go to like the, you know, a weekly view or something. I mean, it's just like this is, let's go back to the beginning of April. This is April. Look at this. Sol, Pepe, Bitcoin, XRP, ETH. Look at Fartcoin. April, 131%. Sol's up 15%. Pepe's up 15%. Bitcoin 9, XRP 3, ETH. I mean, obviously in the red, of course. But look at the chart. It's like, what do we think about Fartcoin, guys? Honestly, I feel like we have to talk about it. It seems to have captured the mind share of everybody.
I think it's probably the most organic meme alongside of Pepe. Like it's, I mean, these memes of past, Popcat, Fwog, Giga, Mog. I mean, Mog maybe not so as much, but the other ones were they felt really forced, And Fartcoin just one of those names where it just makes sense. Like it's funny. People get it. TradFi's talking about it. It has that, ability to capture mind share. I mean, you can't doubt it.
It's universal, man. It's just so simple. There's no explanation needed. It's just Fartcoin. That's it. And the market's telling you that. I think this has some staying power, and just from the looks of it, man, I think this is going to be like the story that we're going to be hearing about on CNBC, even if this probably had happened already. But I think it's going to be like the CNBC, like Fartcoin hits like $10 billion market cap or something. You know what I mean? Like I think it's just one of those things where this thing is going to run. It's already been running, right? But like people that are not in crypto, like probably not even aware of this yet. Like this catches mainstream. I think this is one that's going to it's just going to keep running and just mint millionaires. I really do. I think this thing is just going to be the token, that just takes over the show.
Yeah. And I think too, on top of that, one of the most important things is the mind share or the most important generation's mind share to capture is the really young generation's mind share. And we've seen a little glimpse of that already this cycle with the whole brain rot meta. But the new fresh liquidity in that younger generation is much more apt to really ape compared to some of the participants that have been around, because most of the participants that have been around in crypto for a long time have probably gotten pretty burnt on some stuff. And they aren't necessarily as willing to, full degen ape something. But Fartcoin has that ability to capture that young generation's mind share, and they're really, willing to take that risk and, just full ape,
I'm not at all surprised to see the way Fartcoin has moved off the low, right? Like if you talk about, I mean, for one, it was showing strength. I think it was showing strength like way before the rest of even the crypto market, Bitcoin, kind of holding. It was it was one of those assets that was like down 90%, but when it kind of stopped cascading to new lows, slow grinding higher, it's kind of been the consistent, what's the canary in the coal mine per se, for crypto. I'm not surprised at all to see that it's doing what it's doing, right? I have to imagine as long as Bitcoin keeps moving up like this, Fartcoin's going to keep probably leading risk. And we can probably keep looking at it, ironically, as the risk barometer for crypto. On a lower time frame, it's likely going to be front running a lot of these higher time frame moves. But I don't know. I don't know if it will. I don't think it'll flip Pepe personally. But I mean, you can't deny. I think Prometheus hit the nail on the head, right? It's pretty clearly one of the more organic memes that we've seen in crypto in a long time.
I mean, something's going on here. Yeah, it feels really organic. Yeah, I don't think it'll flip Pepe, but
hot air rises.
It's a good meme, man. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
I could see you getting a dip on it from here, but I think it's probably for buying.
Yeah.
Like if we draw a volume profile, let me take a look at it. Because one thing I have noticed about Fartcoin is we're getting a lot more open interest coming in, but less movement on price, locally speaking.
I think we checked that out the other day too. Was the open interest profile on it? But it's also like open interest is also one of those things too, where it's kind of similar to, it's like the PE, in my opinion, of crypto, right? Like, you know, we talked about it the other day, PE the other day, yesterday, and OI really doesn't matter too much if you're in a trending, you know, bull market. But what happens when there's nothing to support the price, you know, on the way down? That's where you got to kind of really, really worry about it. But unless you just have some like egregious ramp up in OI, that's, you know, but
Yeah, I could see some little dip on it in the next few weeks that, I mean, I would personally be longing.
I mean, this dip we got over the weekend, I saw a lot of people get shaken out. A lot of people sold into that over the weekend dip, and that looked really toppy too. But it just literally pulled back into support, flipped it, and just it's trading super clean, man. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at like this, you know, it's just you obviously want to see like this level hold right in here. You got a lot of volume like right in here, you know what I mean? And you probably just kind of hope like if it does come down into here, probably scoop that up. But I mean, it's just been so strong, you know, like whenever Bitcoin moves up, it's always the first one, always. So
I think you probably see like a $1.25 before any major. I mean, if maybe a slight pullback here, but I think $1.25 to $1.30 before we get anything, you know, before a decent pullback, in my opinion.
I would agree. Yeah, I like that. I like the $1.20 mark.
What does the Fartcoin Bitcoin pair look like? I don't even think I've looked at that.
Probably.
I mean, up
It
only.
might just look like Fartcoin.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe the
Bitcoin's
better
been pretty
barometer
strong.
is Fartcoin Soul,
Yeah.
or maybe even benchmark it against other market leaders like Hyperliquid, which has been extremely strong lately.
Yeah, I mean, we could look at. Let's start with Bitcoin. I mean, this is Fartcoin against Bitcoin. It literally just looks like, just kind of looks like Fartcoin, but a little higher. We could throw it against Hype. I mean, it's still just bullish, right? But I think at its core, you probably want to just look at it against something like Sol.
To be clear, I wouldn't be chasing it here
Yeah.
because I know that's what everyone's trying to do. It's like they're just realizing now. I wouldn't chase Farcoin here. What I would do is find stuff that's sitting at the lows where Farcoin was before it went on its leg that you think that has a great chance of doing well also, and buy that instead. And then maybe wait for a nice pullback if you want to get involved. But I never recommend chasing pumps, even though we're talking about it. Yeah.
What if I said cup and handle?
Yeah, that's nice. Wait, what chart is that?
This is Farcoin against Sol.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, I think you just look at Bitcoin and just go, okay, if Bitcoin's going to pull back, we're going to get a pullback. If Bitcoin just keeps moving up, we're just going to keep moving up, you know? And I look at Bitcoin here and I say to myself, all right, let's look at look at the legacy trend line here. Look at the legacy, man. Look at the trap here, man. Like, I don't hate how that looks. Not at all.
Max,
Matter
I know
of-
you've been a big VWAP enjoyer lately. Pull a
Huge.
VWAP from the election, the day of the election, so November 5th. That is your get over it, and we are off to the races. Look how strong it held its support previously. This is our in confluence with the resistance and supply zone we're at right now. This is our you get over it level. Things are looking
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that. I mean, I've been playing around with these the rolling VWAPs here, and we're just chewing through levels, man. Like chewing through it. Yearly, 30-day, 60-day, 180-day, 90-day. Like we're getting there, man. We are really it almost wouldn't surprise me to see something like this. You know, like you pop above all of them, do something like this. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Yep. It's all coming together. It's all coming together.
Just like so simply, I just can't fade this trend line for now, you know?
Yeah.
Can't do it.
When that breaks, we get out.
Yeah. I mean, volume fusion system telling you to shove down here. Like we're now above the zero line, boys.
Beautiful stuff.
Beautiful. I mean, it really feels, you can feel something in the air.
There was so much confluence down there at those lows. I mean, textbook accumulation pattern. You obviously had the volume fusion there that Max has shown you guys. Basically retest to the previous all-time high, backfill all the liquidity from the Trump pump, essentially. Like it was just textbook.
I really think that Pepe looks quite nice here, guys. Like,
The funny thing is, people are going to be trying to sell their Pepe to chase Farcoin, and then Pepe is going to start to rip. It's going to be so funny. I already saw people in the comments saying Pepe will suffer. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, I look at this and, you know, Pepe's been in this downtrend for a long, long time. And I'd say when you finally get above this high here, right up in here, I don't think
so clean. You had a clear downtrend, lower low, lower low, lower low, boom. You're trading sideways, right? You're in the accumulation phase, right? What comes next? Expansion.
I mean, am I crazy to think that this is your range here with some crazy deviations? And you're basically back in the range now? I don't think it's crazy to think that.
Yeah.
It feels so similar to this move to me right in here.
Same thing with like Andy too. Like it looks just like it did at the lows at that same time. Just slow bleed into your high time frame support, and then starts to curl up and then off to the races.
Yeah.
I don't know how somebody looks at Pepe and says it's cooked. I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like if you're saying Pepe's, like if you're in the comments saying Pepe's cooked right now, I mean, you got to be listening in more, because out of all the altcoin charts that have been around for a significant period of time, Pepe is one of the few that actually looks good. Like I mean, I'm just like, if a chart is able to hold up to the market conditions that we had, I mean, it just goes to show the strength of the underlying. I think it has a lot of room to the upside. I think that you see probably, just call it 14 cents pretty quickly.
This is my favorite chart here is Pepe Doge. I mean, it's just, I've been screaming it since we made this little sweep and started moving higher here. It's like, this chart tells me everything. It's never, ever moved higher and the market has been bearish, ever. So I look at this and I'm just like, this is a bullish structure. It's got some work to do, but.
What does Doge look like? Because we usually see Doge kind of front run Pepe pumps.
I'd say it doesn't look bad.
What is the Doge market cap right now? Curious.
Doge market cap is, I don't even have it. Maybe 15 billion or something.
Billion still. Holy
25. Shit. But we're getting close here. Like, starting to get some early buy signals. Not quite above the 0 line yet, but risk off, risk on.
Well, the thing is about Doge too, you got to kind of keep in mind is you got to think like 30 to 40% of the supply is essentially burnt, right? Of all the people from the previous cycle, like the moms, the dads, the uncles, the brothers, the sisters that bought Doge, put it in a wallet and just forgot about it and just don't touch it, and they just never came back to crypto. Like you got to keep that in mind too, which is, in my opinion, very bullish.
So many people last cycle that bought it, that weren't really crypto native. Yeah, like you said, like just sitting on their Coinbase or whatever, just like haven't looked at it in years, just sitting there.
I mean, this chart looks, this looks quite slippery to me right here. Quite slippery.
Now, does this chart need to remain down only for bullish conditions? It's not something I really track.
It does, yeah.
It does. Okay.
Unless we see stablecoin market cap rapidly decreasing, but that inherently would be bearish too. So yeah, it's going to have to stay up only. But this thing looks slippery. Really slippery.
Somebody had me look at USDT, USDC dominance yesterday.
USDC is definitely taking up some market share, so I think that is an important chart to watch probably as well.
It's the same thing. I'll show you guys. It's essentially the same chart. That looks quite slippery to me. So it's like if you're bearish, what are you expecting? It's like, I don't know, retest of this, maybe. I mean, this looks that looks vulnerable, guys. Like if this was poop coin, we'd be like, oh shit, it's over. You know, I mean, we'll flip it. Look at that thing. Bitcoin down below, USDT and USDC dominance up top.
It's crazy. They look almost identical.
They are. I mean, it's great signal to look at these stablecoin dominance charts. I wouldn't long this shit up here. I mean, look, would you long this? I wouldn't long this. I mean, you want to talk about like trading and being like, oh yeah, you know, I caught that move and here's a wick and, you know, okay, we're going to bounce at the wick. Fine. I'm not interested in longing a chart that looks like this. Hell no.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be bounces, but
of course.
Anything else? But high time frame, yeah, this looks like it's entering a downtrend.
It looks slippery. You know, we can look at something like this here. You can get some pops, you know, before you get like a real breakdown or something. It's always possible you could get, you know, it's possible we could do something like this, right? That would suck to see it come back up and then move down, but or it could just slide, you know? I don't know. But we're losing trend here. I mean, this is your bear case, I guess, is like another retest of like these highs or something, which I would hate to see. That would be so annoying, but that would be the bear case.
I think it needs to break that that low near 7% to really get moving.
You're talking about this guy right here?
Yeah.
7-1. The exact level. We'll see. I mean, this is kind of an obvious spot, but you just never know how it's going to end up materializing, right? It could just completely slide. I mean, looking at your like high time frame, this is just like a indicator I made. You guys will all get access to this at some point here. It's just stochastic, and then like the green and the red is actual RSI. The zero line is actually 50. Like this kind of looks early trend rollover, you know? It really. Let's look at the weekly, like just starting to kind of print bearish rollover here, you know? Oof. Starting to look vulnerable. I mean, daily RSI now below 50, like this RSI level, you know, 50 for this whole trend.
Yeah, that's huge, actually.
Finally lost that level, you know?
Yep. Bitcoin
Finally
pushing
lost
above
that
the
50. I just don't see this. I don't see this somehow like popping up back up. You know what I mean? I could see it doing this and chopping here, and then ultimately it's going to visit, you know, much lower. But I mean, you can see as soon as we started this uptrend, it's like this 50 level on the RSI has been holding for a long, long, long time.
And I think how we break down might matter too. I think you don't want a, massive flush like we're seeing in the DXY. And the reason why I say that is just kind of like what we had with the DXY, where you had people flood dollars and go straight into gold. It'd be the equivalent of people fleeing from stable coins. If we have a massive sell-off in that chart, it'd be people fleeing from stable coins and going straight into BTC, and you'd have BTCD rise probably pretty rapidly. So I think how we go about the sell-off does matter too, where you kind of get a slow, break of that structure, and then you get that big sell-off. But I think a really fast, immediate flush might not be as bullish for altcoins as some people may think.
I wouldn't mind a Bitcoin dominance-led rally. I mean, that would be ideal. When we
Yeah.
really saw last cycle kick off. Again, we've talked about this before, but it's like Bitcoin dominance up top. Look at what we saw last cycle as like Bitcoin really started to like push into price discovery, like really push. Bitcoin dominance went up, and then you had alt season, right? So it's like I wouldn't mind Bitcoin dominance just chopping higher. Why not?
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. If Bitcoin wants to drag the entire asset class higher, go for it.
Yeah.
Because the
That's
beta
what
that
we've
I
seen the
own
whole
has been
cycle.
outperforming Bitcoin despite Bitcoin dominance going up. So it's fine.
Yeah, and ultimately, Tommy's touched on this a few times, but it'll create an even larger wealth effect later down the road, which, kind of have the prolonged cycle theory, and we go into that whole topic.
Yeah, that's going so much higher, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the monthly, it's like, you're not going to fade this chart. Are you kidding me? Why would you fade this chart? I mean, honestly, I don't know how I feel about this, but
I'm going to pull a Will here, but getting a nice W pattern.
would that be the worst thing in the world? Like Bitcoin chads to new highs and like goes up to 70% or something like that? I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world. I don't have
No,
a super firm opinion on it, but
I mean, that's been the regime this entire cycle. I mean, is just the strength of Bitcoin, right? The strength of the institutional bid, the strength of wanting to own Bitcoin itself. And then, I talked about this the last stream, but it's like, imagine if like the boomers are the ones that are the reason why we get the alt season that we do, and it's fundamentally driven, right?
I don't mind this little supply zone right here at all. 67. Not bad.
Yeah, at this point, might as well.
And am I crazy to think that when alt season finally happens, this bottom trend line is going to be the spot right over here? You know what I mean? Be like this.
And what's crazy is, I mean, at this point, it seems unfathomable, but I mean, we know what it can do. Like, we know what can happen when alt season kicks off. I mean, that could happen
Study
really
greed.
quick.
Study greed.
Mm-hmm.
People think it can't happen, but human emotions largely affect these markets, right? So Bitcoin starts going crazy again. Everyone starts talking about crypto. People are going to think they missed Bitcoin, or they're taking profits from their Bitcoin trade, and they're going down the risk curve. It's literally that simple. It's literally that simple. People chasing higher returns.
Guys,
So
we're going to run a quick commercial break here for the BB terminal. Give us some likes while we're running this ad. Greatly appreciate it. And again, reminder, it is 100% free to sign up for BB terminal, guys. Free portfolio tracking, 62 chains, state of the art. Support us for free. All you got to do, sign up, put in your email, and again, gift from us to you guys. Check it out.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal.
Man, I love those. I love the bull and the
good.
bear, man. Yeah,
So
guys.
good.
First link in the description below. Again, we opened up the state-of-the-art portfolio tracker 100% for free. So if you don't want to use the rest of it, no sweat. You should definitely want to use the rest of it because it's absolutely awesome. Designed by all of us here at BB. Best tools on the market, all put into one beautifully composed Swiss Army knife. Guys, give yourself the tools that you need to succeed. And in the meantime, check out the free portfolio tracking. Stay up to date. It's awesome. And again, you literally just check it out. Put in your email. It's got like every single, I didn't even know there were 62 chains necessary, but we have all of them, right? So you can just like copy paste your address in there, pulls up your entire portfolio. You can make like infinite amount of portfolios, compile them into one or separate ones. It's got pie charts, the whole thing, 100% for free, bbterminal.com. Just need an email, super easy, super awesome. Check it out. And if you want to check out the rest, also, maybe we can run some coupons or something like that for the rest of it because it's pretty awesome. But anyways, in the meantime, check that out, guys. But I kind of think this is going to end up playing here. I don't know how long it will take because one thing we know about Bitcoin dominance is that when it tops quick, right? When it tops real quick. So it's going to be obvious when it happens. You know, it'll be like a complete capitulation, you know, but might take a little bit more time, you know, but like the pace of it is previous 2 times it's been very, very quick. So wouldn't mind Bitcoin taking a blow off stab above 66, 67, then just boom. Wouldn't mind it at all.
%.
I don't know if I'm willing to say 80%. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but seems kind of high.
I just think it's, you know, I don't like to fade slow grinding price action. The comments. Hold on. Damn it. I lost my mouse. There it is. Duality of man. I just think, you know, Bitcoin dominance as a metric doesn't necessarily have to mean like there's not opportunity in the altcoin market. It just means Bitcoin is continually appreciating at a greater rate than things like Ethereum and then things like VC scams.
Yeah. It's like there's people that just strictly watch that chart and they won't even look at altcoins, right? If Bitcoin dominance is up, but it's been very clear. There's been tons of opportunity out there. Although, granted, harder to find those opportunities with Bitcoin dominance rising in the altcoin market, but they've definitely been there, right? They've definitely been there.
I mean, this is kind of this was your like had to hold level for ETH, and I wouldn't say it's held yet, but it's trying to, right? Even if ETH were to like die, right? This is what I think it would look like personally. I literally think it would look like this first. Just my own take on it. Where I think it would be like, you know,
Yeah.
like you could get a nice juicy bounce out of here.
Yep.
And then it dies.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but
Pretty much what I'm watching for.
I really think you could retest 2,500 in the not too distant future. And then it's decision time.
Yeah.
That would be maximum pain.
But also it could
4 to
just,
6 month range.
yeah, I mean, it would just be, you know, it'd be some like shoulder shit like this. And then over. But it could very well also just recover, you know, like it doesn't need to keep going down forever.
Yeah.
It could just make a comeback, right? Any day.
I mean, look how it sprung out of the bear market. Right? We're straight down, found a bottom, and just drifted higher from there.
Or it could literally just do this.
Yep.
You know, I don't know.
Oh, that would be sick.
It's one or the other.
It would be sick. Jack has had a great he had a great example using DXY. Something like this. It was something like this. Inverted DXY. Can happen. You know, it's been known to kind of lead a little bit, right? Let that one, so we could call this, you know, this is lagging, right? It's possible. But I think the point is like, you don't want to get too excited until this level gets flipped, right? Because you're going to end up getting rejected here. So the big question is like, does it kind of hold in here when that throwback happens? If you can even get up there, right? But if it does, it would start looking really good really quickly if that did happen.
Yeah, for me, the like get over it level for sure is 2,500, and then the ultimate like we're so back is 29. Those are your two levels where you watch out for, and if you get above those, it's game on.
This is the fractal that Jackus was talking about, you know, like inverted DXY. I mean, that would be so fun, but again, it's hard to imagine in these conditions, but not impossible. All right, guys, we are going to run another commercial. Let's run up the likes during this BB Terminal commercial. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, enjoy this one. I'm in it.
Every morning, coffee in hand, I open up the BB Terminal. We built this platform to be your trusted companion, whether you're actively trading, investing for the long haul, or even dabbling in the degen space. Let's start with the BB portfolio. It integrates with over 60 blockchain networks and supports both wallet connections and manual entries, making it flexible enough for any trader. On the active page, you'll find advanced charting tools, complete with more than 21 custom scripts to give you deeper insights. Beneath that, our intuitive heat map helps you spot key support and resistance levels easily. But we know active trading isn't everyone's style, so we created the DCA page, equipped with over 35 thoughtful indicators. It's designed to assist you in making informed, strategic, and long-term investment decisions. We're genuinely proud of what we've created here at BB, and we continually strive to improve it every day.
Those damn coffee mugs.
Phew. Is that a new one? I don't think we've seen that one yet.
We've had it for about a week, I think. Maybe a
Okay.
little more. Yeah. We're in the lab. We're cooking.
Yeah, man.
Louis, you got
You
any
guys think
charts you want
gold
to take a look
top?
at? Oh, sorry,
I'll
Tommy.
look
Go
at
ahead.
Prometheus's charts.
I was
Look
just
at
gonna
my
say, do you guys
charts.
think gold topped finally.
Think
Sorry,
gold
say that
has.
again, Tommy.
No, I'm just looking at the chart. It looks like we put in a blow off and probably just go down from here.
In what chart?
Gold.
Ooh. Oh my.
From a sentiment perspective, I could 100% see how gold is topped.
Front run 3,500 by 60 cents.
I mean, for gold to keep going too, I mean, the amount of money that it takes for gold to move in the manner it has is just unfathomable.
Yeah, but keep in mind who's bidding it, right?
China.
Guys that have the
Sailor.
yeah, Peter Schiff.
Yeah, I think it's probably top now. It really did get the perfect storm of catalysts, and
Yeah, it did.
now I think you've had the blow off in price that matches it.
And I actually think, funny enough, it's probably silver's turn to shine.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
I think there's a big discrepancy right now between the silver gold pair. And I think silver was probably primed for, high 30s, maybe push 40 into 40. But I mean, silver's treated as kind of the altcoin of the commodity sector. Because of that, we saw that, rather large sell-off at the beginning of April with the tariff announcement. But I think that there's probably a mean reversion trade there in silver.
You're telling me to buy calls on silver, Prometheus?
I would never tell anybody to buy commodities personally, but
I
I'm
mean,
long with silver miners.
the silver gold ratio is, I mean, it looks fried, but it's like this could very easily turn into like some PO3 thing. You're probably best sort of just waiting for this range to get reclaimed. This is silver gold. I mean, if this manages to come up here, yeah, man, that looks good. But right here, it looks not good. So probably wait. I mean, it's trekking higher.
Big catch-up trade for silver.
yeah.
unless it's going to be like ETH.
That's interesting, actually. Let's do something quick. Gold. Silver.
Something I was thinking about too, especially with how gold has performed and thinking about the rebalancing effect that may occur in a lot of these larger portfolios that have allocations, a percentage of their, portfolio in gold. And when they go to rebalance, where that capital may flow into, right? I think the Mag 7 is not necessarily a investment vehicle that a lot of the portfolio managers are currently looking at. And so you got to kind of think like, where else in the market may that go? Is it going to go into other commodities? Is it going to go into energy companies? Where is that going to flow into?
From gold?
Yeah, because like when the bigger players go to rebalance their portfolios, especially with gold being where it's at, because you got to think a lot of these a lot of the larger institutional money does have allocation to gold, especially a lot of the older portfolio managers. And when they go to rebalance their portfolios, where do we think the capital is actually going to be flowing into? And so I've been thinking, you could see it flow into potentially other commodities. You could also see it flow into maybe some of the, blue chip, like boomer stocks, the Coca-Colas, the energy companies, the Exxons, the Caterpillars of the world. So something that I was kind of thinking about, right? Because I don't think a lot of that money is going to necessarily stay in gold, especially if we see some form of, resolution. It's like, sure, China's buying the bag right now, but who's left to bid, right?
Like, I wonder if the silver gold pair, if it can reclaim this level, 0.01040506, I wonder if we'd see ETH rally against Bitcoin too. I don't know. Just kind of thinking, like,
hasn't Jackus made that connection before with silver and ETH? Or maybe it was copper and ETH. I don't know. I remember him making a comparison between ETH and one of the other, or maybe it was silver and Bitcoin. It was.
I've compared the ETH Bitcoin ratio to gold silver going forward. Jackus might have something more specific though.
yeah. All right, guys, we're going to run one more BB Terminal ad. Again, totally 100% free to sign up, guys. First link in the description below. Let's run the likes up while we're running the 60-second ad, and we will be right back.
Welcome to the all-new BB Terminal portfolio. Faster, smarter, and now free for everyone. Signing up is easy. Just use your Google account to get started in seconds. Once you're in, you'll get a clean, aggregated view of all your wallets. Or dive into individual wallets for more control. We support Wallet Connect for seamless syncing. And don't worry, we use industry-standard encryption to keep your data safe and secure. Prefer not to connect your wallet? No problem, just use our manual entry mode. Choose as many tokens as you like. Then plug in your transactions. It's quick and intuitive. Watch your portfolio stats and charts update in real time. Your portfolio refreshes automatically every hour, but you can also sync instantly with just one click. BB Terminal Portfolio, available to everyone for free.
Boom.
Boom. I think we need to check on the old Vixie poo today.
I think if
Also,
you can get it below like 28, 27, it's going to waterfall down.
I mean, Mag 7 bouncing kind of nice today. I mean, a lot of work to do, right? But up 4%. Move over to the VIX specifically.
So your zero gamma level on VIX right now is at 27, which means that's the, the balance of the market, right? That means where, short positioning, long positioning kind of, balance out there at 27. And like Tommy said, if we can get below 27, you're coming straight down to 20. And then there's a huge amount of volume that I talked about yesterday coming in at 16 and 50. So could cascade pretty quickly.
This is the level we were looking at yesterday pretty intently, was this gap. And it looks like we filled it and we've just kind of been down only today, right? So Prometheus, you said 27 is kind of your level before you really think it just jeets hard.
If you accept below 27, then yes, you're going to start to see a lot of that long positioning come off the board, which will exacerbate the move downward. But vol is remaining is a little sticky. That you do have to kind of take note of right here, right? We are kind of holding around that 32 level, which I've marked out as a significant level. But on either side of this trade, there's money that is coming to the market that is saying you get a massive blowout to the upside or the downside. Direction is not certain, but either way, it's going to be a big move. And the market's kind of in wait and see mode right now. And the order book on the ES too, which I noted in the BB Discord, and I was messaging Tommy about it, is very, very thin from historical perspectives. And if you, when you have the order book as thin as it is, spreads starting to widen out, and you don't have that mean reversion due to the lack of, due to the lack of liquidity in the market. And because of that, they're here pretty soon. There's going to be a big move, most likely in the markets to either side. I don't know what or which direction necessarily, because it's very headline driven, but that's what the market, that's what the options data and the order book's telling us right now, is you're going to see a big blowout to either side.
Tommy, how does this at all, if at all, change your view on equities here? Like, do you think if we start breaking down kind of below this potential shoulder thing that we have brewing on the VIX, like if we see it down here, do you flip bullish equities, or is it a little bit more nuanced than that?
I probably wouldn't flip bullish equities. I wouldn't want to be short anything because the life would get sucked out of every put in the market. And I think the VIX would probably come down pretty considerably, right? Like, I mean, possibly even below that low at like 18. I think you'd probably come down and take all of those lows, to be honest, maybe even the lows back in mid February even. But I would be loading VIX calls if we got back down there, personally.
So if we did see some relief, did something like this, shove some VIX calls.
Yeah, that would be my plan.
Could be fun for somebody.
And if you look at, I mean, 2020 is a perfect example of an environment of heightened volatility. You often, rarely times, see volatility just crush, and for a prolonged period of time, just remain flat. Usually, when you get a massive expansion of volatility, it's obviously due to market uncertainty. It's not specifically that, but it's a good way of, that's what everybody talks about it. And because of that, the market still remains apprehensive. And you often have what I call tremors following the big expansionary periods, right? There's usually little, it's like you have the one big earthquake hit. Everybody's like, "Oh my God!" Everybody's so unsettled, and then you'll have little tremors kind of follow, follow the main event, generally speaking.
What do you guys think of IWM here? You guys have any thoughts?
It needs help.
Well, no shit.
Yeah, I just think like, I mean, the tariffs obviously don't help, but the IWM as we know it, I mean, it's made up of all the small and mid cap stuff, so we just need a regime to where the cost of capital is cheap, to where the consumer's strong. You need, what Trump's trying to do, bring manufacturing back to the United States. There's a few things that got to kind of line up for IWM to kind of, come back to life.
It's crazy that this chart hasn't really made it. It technically kind of swept the all-time high, but like I won't really call that a new all-time high. It hasn't had any price discovery since November of 2020. It's just been in this giant range. Like, that's crazy. Looks like XRP, man. Just mega range.
Yeah, it does need some help here.
I like it's trying to put in a bounce at this kind of must hold level. Because obviously if it doesn't hold here, then forget about it. But
I don't really have any strong thoughts on it.
yeah. I mean, look at like IWM against the Mag 7 is just down only,
Usually when we see IWM pumping, it's from hedge funds closing shorts on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we usually see tech and IWM kind of anti-correlated.
See, that's where I wonder if like there's any mean reversion to be had on this valuation at all, or if it's just kind of turbo cooked because nobody wants to own anything that's not, at a 50 PE, but we'll see. All right. Well, I think that's probably it for today's show. Tommy, you want to take us out, brother?
You caught me off guard. I'm going to be a little rusty on the outro, Max.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed the show today, you're looking to get a little bit more access to the team and some of the products that we offer you guys to help conquer these markets, Obviously, we ran a few commercials on it already, but Max has it up on his screen currently. That is the BB terminal, guys. Whether or not you are an active trader, a long-term investor, or market degen, this will be your go-to tool for the cycle. I mean, just so many different tools for you to be able to conquer these markets, right? And on so many different time frames in so many different contexts. I promise you, you will find something within this BB terminal, if not, you know, a lot of different things that you use to ultimately conquer these markets. But yeah, check out the BB terminal, guys. And we were nice enough to package this together with the BB Discord. So if you're looking to get a little bit more of an intimate setting, kind of on how we position ourselves and you know, how we view markets in real time, check out the Discord. Like I said, we did package it together with the BB terminal, and we provide 4 to 5 hours of calls every single day where we break down basically, you know, some of the things that I just said, positioning, views on the market in real time, and much, much more. Of course, if you're looking to hone your educational base, or even reach trading level mastery, we have an in-depth course for you to check out. That is the BB Academy, where, yeah, you can come learn from the entire BB team in a bit more of a, I hate that I'm saying this word so much during this outro, but a bit more of an intimate setting. Yeah. Lastly, but certainly not least, we have BB Wealth Management, guys. So if you are just fed up with the crypto market, maybe you're having a difficult time picking winners, we've got a solution for you as well. Come check out our SEC registered hedge fund, where we manage digital assets in a way that looks to capture their asymmetric history for upside returns while also balancing the downside risk posed in any financial market. But yeah, guys, that is it from us. If anything that I just said resonated with you here over the last 90 seconds, check out the description below. That's where you can find everything that I have just talked about. But Market Check will be back for another episode tomorrow. Same time as always, if you're a regular. And if you are new, we go live typically around 11 to 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We run for about an hour, hour and a half. We talk about markets, charts, and we have a lot of fun doing it. I never did our crime of the day. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Whoa.
we're gonna have to bring that back tomorrow. I did have something, actually, if you guys can believe it. But yeah, come join us on Market Check, where we talk about charts and sometimes even the crime of the day. But make sure to finish up your day with Market Talk and King Wabi. That will be hosted through his account as well as the Because Bitcoin X account. And yeah, so make sure to stay following and subscribe to both of those so you can be notified, not just when we schedule those spaces ahead of time, but of course also when we go live. That's it though from us. We hope that you guys enjoyed the show. Markets are green. Let's see what we get for the rest of the week. And yeah, until next time, guys, thanks again. And as always, stay safe.